lot of time has been dedicated to asking about injuries, and like you're past that now. Now you can answer a bunch of questions about Penn State. Can we just go back to your recruitment for a minute? Once you committed to Ohio State, how long was it until Penn State maybe backed off and realized that maybe you weren't ever going to budge from that commitment?
I made it pretty clear at the beginning that once I committed that was kind of what I was going with, and I felt like it was my recruiting process. It was long and it was really stressful. It was hard on me, my family, and I felt like it was just time to make a decision, and this was the best decision for me. So at the time, I thought I made it pretty serious, and they never. I mean, they pushed every once in a while, but it was never like too extensive.
Obviously, because you are so close to that campus, there were probably a large portion of people who weren't happy with you making that decision, and now you're going back 3 years later. And are you kind of prepared for maybe you might hear about it a little bit from the fans when you're out there?
I mean, that's okay. Honestly, I'm trying to take it as a regular game, which it is really just it's just another game for us. We got to go in prepared. I got to go in prepared. Be myself. We got to be the Buckeyes. We got to be the team that we are. We're striving to be, and we got to play our best game of the season.
When you were there in 2020, that was different when you were playing in the background. See, nobody was in the stadium. Have you talked to maybe some of these younger guys like Marvin and about what that experience is like? Just because at some point in your life, you saw what a Penn State environment is.
The coaches have really been driving it home. Like, it's going to be loud. Going into Penn State and winning the game is definitely it's hard. It's a great environment there. Their fans are always into it from the start to the end. So we're going to have to be on our P's and Q's, whether it comes to our cadences, the penalties, everything, everything of that nature.
Did you ever come close to actually going to Penn State when you were in the recruiting process?
I couldn't tell you that right now just because it was so long ago. Obviously, they were in probably my top 10, probably top 5 schools. It was almost home for me. It was right down the street. So, they were definitely high up on my list, but I couldn't tell you who I really considered at that time.
Like growing up, were most people in your town Penn State fans?
Oh yeah, most definitely. The majority of where I'm from is Penn State fans. Yes, sir.
Do you know like a lot of people who go there, like the guys on the team?
Yeah, no, I got a couple friends on the team. Some kids I played basketball with in AAU from the time I was in 2nd, 3rd grade up. So it's definitely going to be fun to go in there and play against some of my friends and some people that I've known for a long time.
You mentioned
family members asking you for tickets?
Just really my immediate family, just, my mom and people that have been there for, from the jump. So it's just pretty much them home caterings.
You mentioned it was the hometown, kind of the closest school to you. Was it important for you to maybe go a little further from home? Like, how did that, like, being close to home factor into your process when you were considering schools?
Honestly, being close to home was really one of the last things, on my list that I was really concerned about. My family really made it up to me about making a decision for myself because I'm going to be the one that's going to, live with that decision. So, distance from home was never really a major factor. It was just finding the right fit and somewhere that I really felt at home.
Yeah, Julian, you're probably aware the rumors were floating around about this time a year ago that you might be considering a transfer portal move back to there. I mean, did that ever come up? I mean, did you ever?
No.
Yeah. And what just told you that this was the place eventually it was going to happen? What just kept telling you that?
That I was going to come here?
No, that this was the place where you were going to. I mean, you've had a hell of a last 5 or 6 weeks.
Honestly, I was just committed to the process, and it's something I didn't really embrace at first. And once I embraced that, and really took a deep dive into the brotherhood and really being invested in this program, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. I'm around the best guys in the country, the best coaching staff in the country, strength staff in the country. The list goes on and on. So
yeah.
It was just somewhere I felt like I could really thrive as time went on.
Hey, these guys might have. Some people think they have as good a secondary as there is in the Big Ten and maybe in the country. What is your take on those guys? Just from what you've seen on video, of course, Joey Porter Jr.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely strong. They're definitely strong on the back end. So we're definitely gonna have to play one of our best games. We definitely have to go. We're gonna have to go in, be physical, be confident, and like I said, we're gonna have to be on our P's and Q's in all aspects.
Julian, was there a specific moment where it kind of finally clicked for you and you started really officially buying into the brotherhood and all that kind of stuff?
I would say last year in the off season was just kind of a wake up call. It was like I want to continue to excel, and I feel like I haven't really maximized myself at this point. So it was just at that time, I had talked to my family, talked to my friends, and I'm like, I'm really about to like really lock into this, and it was something I really had to buy into, and make some sacrifices along the way, and it's gone pretty well, but the sky's the limit. So you just gotta keep improving every aspect as a team and as an individual.
And if you didn't do something like that, I mean, if you weren't prepared to buy in, where do you think you'd be right now? Would you still be here? Would you have transferred, or what do you think?
Those are kind of a lot of what if questions. I don't really have a genuine answer for you right now, especially and like I said, they're big what ifs. So I really don't want to think back to that time.
You were saying that last offseason you really locked in. Like you had conversations with your family about it. So what about this past offseason maybe clips for you and that's like why then?
It was my second year going into my third year. I had a lot of injuries, a lot of ticky-tack stuff, a lot of bumps and bruises, and I felt like at first I didn't really embrace those injuries in the process, and then as time went on, I finally realized that adversity was really carving me into the person that I wanted to be at the end, for the end goal. So I just had to embrace everything that I've been through and kind of wear it on my shoulder, and really just bring that chip in every single day.
So now you scored a touchdown in every game. Can you just talk the chemistry you built with CJ very quickly? When did that, like not necessarily when you guys were down in Dallas, but when you guys got on campus, can you just kind of walk us through how you and him built the rapport that you have? And you just kind of popped in there week 3 and immediately basically become a touchdown.
Yeah, well, like you said, it really did start in Dallas, and that's the truth. And then coming in freshman year, we continued. We were coming in on off days, throwing, just getting everything ready. Obviously, I got some reps with him last year, and then, I was hurt the last week of camp, so I missed the first 2 weeks. But all the way throughout, since the winter, spring ball, everything, it was just building that chemistry with CJ. So it was really no love lost between us.
If you had to have a scout report of Julian Fleming, what would be the strengths that he would bring to this wide receiver room and to this passing game?
Oh man,
I'm making you brag about yourself. So.
Yeah, I don't really love that question. I would definitely say I'm pretty tough on the outside. I feel like I'm a willing blocker. I can run a little bit. I don't know. I don't really want to go too in depth on myself. It's kind of a weird topic, but I would just say from a physicality standpoint, I would say that's what probably stand out the most to me.
What's it like now to be more involved down the field? First 2 years, a lot of short stuff. Now you're finally getting involved all over. What's that like?
Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely something I enjoy. I love deep routes, and it's just something I always felt like I excelled at more than shorter space stuff. But I feel like my game is coming along as a whole, and everything's kind of falling into place.
What's the key to that, to excelling down the field and tracking the ball?
It starts up front with our O-line and their protection and everything that they do, and then as well as having a consistent running game and getting those 4 to 5 yard gains every first down or every opportunity you get, and then that kind of just opens up the downfield.
We don't see a lot of 50-50 balls with this offense. Why is that?
You mean like jump balls?
Yeah, because you guys are open. Is that the reason?
I guess that a little bit. We got great route runners, but I feel like our scheme, we just come in with a great scheme, and our coaches put us in a place to be successful.
Julian, your last 2 questions.
What goes through your head when you see him
Honestly, as soon as they called the play, I got super excited. But just running around tracking the ball, it was funny. The ball was actually gone. It was in the sun, so it was kind of complicated. You look up into the sun. They teach us catch the sun, so you're just looking into the sun, waiting for it to pop out, and it's not popping out, and it's not popping out, and then boom, it just falls right in my lap. And the Iowa dude had missed it. He was a fingertip away, so it was really almost a play that never even happened. But it was just an awesome experience.
Do you want to call that luck, or do you want to take credit?
No, I'm not calling it luck. We go through it. I mean, in the summer practices, just having to go through it and catch the sun and kind of building that into your skill set.
Is that a Brian Hartline thing?
Are you surprised that that's CJ's longest touchdown?
Honestly,
it seems like he can throw the ball pretty far.
CJ can throw the ball very far. Yes, sir, he can. I don't know if I'm surprised, but it was pretty cool to hear about.
Julian, nobody on this team has really played there at full throttle. When you were there a couple years ago, nobody was in the building. You know it better than most people on this team. How have you tried to help educate your teammates on what it's like, how to handle it, the unique nature of it?
I haven't talked to about it like individually as much as I would have liked to, but I mean our coaches have really been drilling it since the beginning of this week. It's definitely a hard place to go into and come out with the win. So we're gonna have to be prepared for everything, be prepared for the noise, and execute at the highest level that we have this season.
When you first went as a recruit, what stuck with you about that place?
The atmosphere. It's honestly it's an insane atmosphere, and it's loud all the time. And you really gotta. I mean, you could be right next to somebody, and you're not even hear what they're saying. So it's definitely something that we're gonna have to be prepared for and execute, like I said, at the highest level we have this season.
Thank you, Julian.
One quick. Where does Catch the Sun come from? Who gave that? Who
Coach
coaches
Hart.
it? Is that Coach Hartline saying catch the sun? Where's that come from?
Yeah, that's what he just always taught us. So I'm not really sure if it came from anybody before that, but that's what he's always taught us. So trust me.
Thanks.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.